Here at Summit Racing, we're constantly evolving. Whether it's launching our rewards program or adding My Garage social community to our website, or just even adding more brands to our family of manufacturers, we're always looking for new and better ways to do things. We like to embrace change with our projects too. That brings us to our Jeep Gladiator, the Roamin Gladiator. Its current Accu-Air suspension system has served us well, helping us stand out at shows and tackle assorted trails. But with additional and more challenging trails on the horizon, we're changing things up by swapping in a more traditional suspension setup. In this video, we'll show you how to install a JKS J-Krawl Suspension System with Fox 2.5 IFP shocks. These systems are designed for maximum articulation and offer adjustability with additional tire clearance. Best of all, they use factory mounting points, and we'll be adding a set of JKS shock extension brackets to accommodate our new setup as well. Before we get started on the installation, let's look inside a few boxes. And as they say, there is a lot to unpack. Let's start with the shocks. JKS includes a set of gas monotube shocks. In this case, these are IFP shocks, and IFP stands for internal floating piston. This design keeps the shock oil separated from the nitrogen gas chamber, eliminating oil aeration. You also notice the beefy 2.5-inch body diameters as well, which provides increased oil capacity, and they're also 50% more piston surface area for less dampening fade and more bottom out control at high speeds. Overall, the shocks are just built tougher to handle the rigors of serious off-roading, which we hope to do. Also in this kit, you also get some high-strength adjustable control arms. These control arms not only provide increased strength required for trail duty, but they also offer adjustability to dial in that front caster, camber, and your pinion angles. Rounding out the kit are dual rate coil springs and adjustable front and rear track bars. This is essentially everything we need for the next evolution of our Gladiator suspension. So now that we got everything open for the most part and know what we're working with, it's time to tear the Gladiator apart. So let's get to it. So we're ready to start installing our 3.5-inch J-Krawl lift by JKS, and we're going to start in the back and then move to the front. Just like we did before with the Accu-Air air suspension, this install is super straightforward. We've gone ahead and pulled out all the suspension components, and we're going to start by bolting in our 4 control arms. Then we'll be able to lift the Jeep up and get the coil springs in, put our shocks on, shock extension brackets. It's very straightforward and kind of self-explanatory. Not to mention JKS has a phenomenal set of instructions to help you through this. So let's get to it. So with all our links on, now we're ready to install our coils. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw our coils in here. I lifted the Jeep up to get the axle down, and they should go in really easy. So I have my factory spring isolator right here in my hand, and you're going to want to make sure to install your spring isolator, and it has this little nipple here on top. There's an indicator hole in the spring bucket in the upper. You're just going to make sure this goes inside that hole when you're putting it all back together. So now I'm just going to take our coil spring, put it into place, and we have enough clearance right about there. So that's everything just lined up like that. So now it's time to start getting some of our front suspension components installed, and we're going to start with our upper and lower control arms and then move into our coil springs and some of the other parts. Now, like I had said before, the JKS instructions are written really well, so if you get stuck or have any problems, refer to those first. If you have any more questions than that, make sure to call into the Summit Racing customer service line so we can help you out with all your Jeep suspension questions. Now let's get the lower installed, and just looking at these things, they are so freaking beefy. This JKS suspension is really nice stuff. So we have all our coils in. We have the weight of the Jeep sitting back on itself. So I took all the slack out of the coils. Now it's time to install our Fox shocks. Now a tip here is these are gas charged shocks. So I left this plastic band on them to keep them small. I'm gonna get the top bolted in, get it started, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut the band and guide it into place and kind of shove the bolt through as it passes through the bracket. It's a little bit of a balancing act, but it makes it way easier to install them. So, top in, then I'm gonna grab my snips so I can cut the band. So I cut the band on the shock and I actually ran out of shock. That's kind of my mistake, and the reason for that is I don't have the Jeep low enough on the lift yet. If I did have it low enough, this one went right into place and we wouldn't have had any issues. But easy fix, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the lift down, take it off the locks, lower it down to the next set of locks, and that should get me where I need to be. So I went ahead and lowered the Jeep to the next set of locks, and it lines up almost perfectly. I just kind of wiggle it around a little bit, get the bolt through, and then I'm gonna get the nuts started. So this bolt's in. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other shock thrown on the other side along with the rears, and then we can start putting some more stuff together. So let's get to it. Just like the front, I'm gonna go ahead and get the top of the shock bolted in, grab our other bolt, and I'm gonna cut the band on this one and guide it into place. So we had the shocks on, and one thing I forgot to do was install our bump stops in the front. Now the cool part about the JKS kit is it comes with adjustable bump stops. So I forgot to put these in originally, so I had to disconnect the shocks, drop the axle back down, and then slide these in. Just so you guys don't make the same mistake, make sure to install these at the same time you install the coil springs. So yeah, I got the 3 inches of bump stop in there, and now I'm gonna go ahead and throw a bolt in the top. And then I have access from the bottom once you disconnect the brake line bracket here, and you'll be able to put a nut on and tighten it up. Get that bolt in there. I'm gonna drop the bolt through. So with our bump stops all installed, we want to go ahead and throw our front sway bar links on right now. And this is where in the kit it's going to differ between your model of Jeep. Like ours is a Rubicon, so we're not going to be putting sway bar disconnects on it. But if you have a non-Rubicon, it's highly recommended that you put the JKS sway bar disconnects on, and their instructions show a phenomenal way to do that. Essentially, you're just adding a set of bottom pins here, and they're going to disconnect from the front. And they even put a slick little bracket up here that you're able to flip your links up and connect them. But because our sway bar has an electronic disconnect, we're not going to worry about that. So we're just going to be bolting the links on. Now you do have to, these links are adjustable and you do have to put them to length. So they recommend that you start about 9 inches eye to eye and then adjust from there. So that's where I'm going to start and see what it sits like on the ground. And from there, I'll adjust them accordingly. But it's super simple. We're going to use the factory hardware on the bottom and the hardware they provide on the top. And it's also important to note that they put some different sleeves in there. So what for our setup is you're going to want the 1 1/4 sleeve in the bottom, and it's going to kind of square it up like this. And then you have these long sleeves in the front that you're going to add this urethane bushing to. Again, the JKS instructions do a phenomenal job of explaining this. So I'll put our bolt and push our sway bar into place. Just like the front, we're going to go ahead and get the sway bar links installed and the bump stop extensions. Now in the JKS instructions, they give you a length to set these to. We just went ahead and set them both to the same length. Also a tech tip, on some sway bars, this hole might be a little bit tight, so you might have to grab a 1/2 inch drill bit and enlarge it. I already went ahead and did that. It goes in there perfectly. So I'm going to get the top bolt started first. Get that one snugged up. So with our sway bar link snugged up, I'm going to go ahead and wait to torque this until I install the other side, but we're going to get our bump stop thrown on now. And this is just an extension because we've added a lift, and these come from JKS and they provide all the hardware to bolt these on as well. I'm going to feed it through the hole here. So I got those started by hand. I'm gonna grab a couple wrenches, get those snugged up, and then torque all this stuff. So before we set this thing down on the ground and torque everything, we need to go ahead and install the new track bar. Now the new front track bar is adjustable. We also have an adjustable on the rear. And what that does is allows you to center the axle under the vehicle. So a track bar keeps the axle essentially square. So without a track bar, with a non-triangulated four-link, it can move back and forth a bunch, and that's not what you want. It won't drive good, anything like that. So track bars are required when it's non-triangulated. They give you the recommendation to start at 34 inches, so that's about where we're gonna start. We're gonna install this side first, and then try to get that side. If it doesn't line up, we'll use the lift to lift the vehicle up and down to where we can get a bolt in this side. And then it's put the wheels and tires on it, set it on the ground, and torque everything. So we're really close to getting this lift finished up. It's been a really easy install. They lay it out great. They give you everything you need. I'm very happy with this lift kit. So we have the driver's side of the track bar installed. We're gonna come over here to the passenger side and look to see how the end of our track bar alignment is. Now, looks like we're about a ½ inch off, so that's not too horrible. They give you the beginning measurement of 34 inches is what you wanna adjust this to, and that's gonna get you really close, but depending on your axles and a bunch of other stuff, things might change a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to pick up the Jeep and see if I can get this to move in the direction I want. If not, I might have to take the jack stands out, put the wheels and tires on, and lower it with the weight on the vehicle to get it lined up. So let's see. So where I left you guys off was getting our track bar bolt installed, and I went ahead and put a little bit of the Gladiator's own weight on itself to get the bolt lined up, and I got that in. Now it's time to check the alignment on everything and torque some bolts. Now the thing about aftermarket lifts and axles and Jeeps is these things are all slightly different, and the manufacturers think about this. So all the suspension links on the Jeep are adjustable. Now, in the instructions from JKS, they give you some recommended lengths to start at, and that's what we went ahead and did. So we're gonna go ahead and check the pinion angle alignment, how much caster's in this thing, and our toe in as well, and our axle side to side alignment. And then between using the suspension links and some other components, we're gonna go ahead and adjust this thing and make it drive straight down the road. If not, it's gonna give your Jeep some horrible handling characteristics. You know, if your rear axle and front axle aren't aligned properly, it'll what they call dog walk down the road, so it'll kind of drive a little bit sideways. We've all seen a vehicle doing it. The key is we want this thing to drive as factory as possible, even with the big 40-inch tires, aftermarket axles, and the lift. It is possible. So let's get into it. So I grabbed our Summit digital angle finder. I'll put the link to this below. This is a great tool to pick up for your garage. And I went ahead and checked the pinion angle and some other alignments back here, like the track bar alignment. And we're right in the ballpark. We're actually perfect in my opinion. The one thing you want to make sure is that your pinion flange and your transfer case flange are square to each other. That's going to allow the drive shaft to work perfectly. If the pinion angles are off, then it's going to prematurely wear a bunch of parts. So you want to make sure your two pinion flanges or drive shaft flanges are lined up perfectly. We're going to go ahead and torque all the links. So JKS provides torque specs in their instructions, and we're going to go ahead and follow along with those. So I'm going to go grab our torque wrench, some crow's feet, and a little bit of muscle and get these done. But once we get that done, we'll move on to the front because the front's a little more complicated, and I'll explain that once I'm done. So we've moved to the front of our Jeep to check our caster of our axle and some other measurements. We're also going to do the toe, but we have the links pretty well dialed in. We used our Summit digital angle finder here to see what the caster of the axle itself was, and we're right in that 4 to 5 degree mark. And that's what you want, is around 4 to 5 degrees, because if you have neutral or positive caster, so the wheels laid forward, it's going to make it drive kind of really sketchy. It's going to wander around on the road. It's going to feel super darty. So by leaning the axle back, it really helps it track straight down the road and drive a lot better. It's going to take a little bit of messing around, you know, taking weight off it, unloading it, loading it, and getting everything, the links adjusted and everything into place. But after checking it, we're really close and we're happy with it. The last thing we need to do is go ahead and torque all the suspension while there's weight on the vehicle, and then we're going to move on to our toe. So the last thing to do before we throw the wheels and tires on it and go take it for a drive is to check our toe. Now, we got with the folks over at Steer Smart and got a pair of their toe plates. I'm going to put the link to these in our description below. Now, the way these work is super, super cool. You just start off by hanging it on your wheel studs, grab a couple lug nuts, and a level. I got this sweet level from Milwaukee that I just use all the time. I'm going to set this on there. Go ahead and snug these up just by finger tight. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So now that I got this side done, I'm going to go do the exact same thing on the other side. And the cool part about this kit is they put everything you need right in the box. I'm just going to run the tape measure across here. Hook that in. And then run it to the back. I'm going to lock the tape measure itself. And then let it hang. Looking on the front here, I have 69 3/4. And on the back here, I have 69 1/2. So this thing is literally perfect. I don't have to change anything. Now, if I did want to change the toe in or toe out on the Jeep here, I would do it by loosening the ends here and running these in or out on either side. And that would allow us to dial that in. But this thing is literally perfect. Now that this is done, you know, the Jeep's all buttoned up, everything's torqued, ready to go. You know, we went ahead and checked all our adjustments and pinion angles, everything is dialed. So this thing's ready to hit the trail again with our new J-Link suspension. So if you're interested in a lift kit for your Jeep, make sure to head over to summitracing.com, check out JKS or one of the other suspension brands that we carry. You know, there's tons of different options. But yeah, so until next time, as always, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the golden question is, what are you working on? I'll see you guys later.